Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest Bethesda news, rumors, and speculation, and oh boy do I have something very interesting to talk about today, because everyone's favorite gaming journalism boy, Jason Schreier, just did a thing, and even though he specifically said himself he is not doing a thing, other people are still reporting on him doing said thing. But, you know, it's all good. He's done this very same stuff in the past, even though he's saying don't report on him saying something when he's reported on other people saying something when they said that they're not saying anything. But let me actually say something and get to the interesting part of today's video, because Jason Schreier was asked about Starfield. He gave a take on it and an answer to it. He reiterated on that answer and said how you should consider his response, and the internet is already going crazy with this information. People have been DMing me this and asking me my take on it. Other websites are reporting on this, even though Jason asked everyone to not do that. But basically yesterday on Reddit, Jason was asked about Starfield, and he said this, or at least this is the actual question and the answer right here. You can see, yes, this was on Reddit, because that's what I said, pay attention. And basically, Secret Girl 3, ooh, Secret Girl 3, Jason Schreier has a secret admirer, and it's the third girl, or something. And she asks, or I guess she says in response to a different question, makes sense, and since I have your attention, mind if I ask you two real questions? Do you think Starfield is likely for a 2021 release? And you mentioned that COVID has been very bad for gaming, and this year might be a dry one gaming-wise. And two, without mentioning any names, have you heard anything interesting or surprising about any surprise announcements coming to E3 this year, next month, meaning E3 2021? And Jason responds by saying nope to both things, or at least initially he just says to no to both things, meaning no to Starfield for a 2021 release, and no, he hasn't heard anything about what any like special announcements going on at E3 this year. And he does edit his Reddit response and says, "Dear video game websites, please stop turning this post into articles. I don't expect most games to hit in 2021. I've been saying this for months, and apparently a lot of people are already turning this into articles, so and so many people have been sending this my way that I'm turning it into a video now, so I guess gaming news boy Jason hates me now too. Oh no, what am I gonna do? The Jason Schreier faction reputation has decreased by 30 points. But even before he edited his response, he basically gave a lot more clarification as to why he doesn't believe Starfield is going to come out this year with his second response. And what I mean by that is he said he hasn't heard anything about new surprising announcements coming at E3, which to me tells me that he doesn't have any direct connections or hasn't heard anything from his inside sources about E3, because there 100% is going to be some surprise announcements at E3 this year. And according to every other insider except for Jason Schreier, I guess, Starfield is going to be at E3 2021 as well. So I mean, there's definitely going to be surprise announcements at E3 this year, but Jason hasn't heard about them, or at least he isn't talking about them, but we have to take him by his word here. He says he hasn't heard about anything, which means that his connections this year may not be as credible, or at least as fruitful as they normally are, which kind of coincides with what he says at the beginning here, or at least clarifies why he doesn't think Starfield is coming out this year, because he hasn't heard anything about it, because apparently he has no connections, because he hasn't heard anything about surprise announcements this year, when there clearly are going to be surprise announcements. So even though COVID is a definite factor here, even though Jason Schreier has been saying forever now that a lot of games targeted for 2021 would be delayed, in my opinion, saying that is kind of just a safe guess to make. And if you don't have any connections this year, or if your connections are silent, you would probably go with the safe guess, right? And that's what I believe Jason is saying in terms of all games, not just Starfield. He believes anything that was targeted for a 2021 release is not going to come out this year. However, there is one thing to this. Most every other insider who has spoken on Starfield has also said it was originally targeted for 2020 and was delayed to 2021 because of COVID. So there's already the delay for Starfield because of COVID, like, out of the way. They already delayed it because of COVID, at least according to other insiders, and according to these same insiders, COVID, or at least COVID's ongoing siege of the world, isn't affecting Starfield's development as much as it was before. So it's on track for a 2021 release, And despite what Jason Schreier says, and despite him saying don't quote him on this, and several other people quoting him on this, I still think that, personally, he hasn't heard from his inside sources, or a lot of people have been quiet this year except for Xbox insiders, and he's just playing it safe. He's just playing like the safe bet and trying to not risk anything by saying that COVID has probably delayed anything that was supposed to come out this year, Starfield included, because in that way, if it does come out this year, he can be like, oh, I was surprised, I guess they must push through because of COVID, or Microsoft helped them push through because of COVID, and he won't look bad. But if he says it definitely is coming out this year, and he hasn't heard from his sources to actually support that, and it doesn't come out this year, he would look bad. But like I said, a lot of other insiders, almost every other insider, Xbox insiders especially, are saying Starfield will definitely be at E3 2021 this year. And judging by previous Bethesda Game Studios patterns, if they showcase a game at E3, they usually release it later on that year. And by showcase, I don't mean a teaser trailer, I mean like a big showcase like we're supposed to get next month, and we're like just about a month away from having all these questions about Starfield finally answered. But either way, I wasn't really going to do a video on this, but a lot of people are already sending this my way, a lot of websites are talking about this, so because it's related to Starfield, and I am a Starfield and Bethesda Game Studios centric channel, I kind of have to talk about it. So here you go, here's my take on things. I think he's just playing it safe. I don't think he's heard anything to kind of tell him the game isn't going to come out this year. He's just rolling a safe guess, and yeah. That basically finishes up everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. As always, if you enjoy the content, if you're hyped for Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever, just be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn notifications on. And as always, huge shout out and much appreciation to the following amazing people for going above and beyond to support the channel and bring you content like this. If you want to get a permanent feature video shout out in every single one of my videos from this point forward, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all this and more are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when, plot twist, Jason Schreier is actually the main character in Starfield.
It just works.